They put me in the mental. I'm getting Teresa to find out. So when my son was born, my ex said in the maternity room, that's not my child. How a mother, a woman supposed to know when she didn't cheat, that's not my child. I teardrop, I developed nervous breakdown and postnatal blue. And then after that, he never treated my son very well. My daughter was the apple eye. And then the government mental start involving, protected him because he was an officer, I was a wife, I was a villain. So they come and get me, Mrs. Angapen, I was Mrs. Angapen, I took my middle name. You better come with us. They give me injection, all type of tablets, and then I'm here, that's me.
Okay, this lady is Leda, and you're from Mauritius originally.
Yeah.
And how old are you, can I ask?
I'll be 54 on the 30th January.
Okay, and you come from, you came to Australia when you were how old?
1979, 20 years old.
So you were 20?
20-ish.
And you came in 1979?
May 1979.
So you've been, and you came to Western Australia?
Australia, yeah, I was living in Salah Street at that time.
And you've been here for how many years?
Going on 34 years.
34 years. And you came here, when you came here, you were pregnant?
No, I was supposed to meet my husband after my honeymoon, after 6 months of getting married. Then I met him.
Is he Australian?
No, he's Mauritius.
He's Mauritius as well.
Yeah, he left Mauritius when he was 19. He was a divorcee.
Okay.
And then I married him.
And then you came here, and then you were having a child?
Yeah, after 6 months of her pregnant, conceived naturally. And then Mom had to help me. They put me in Heathcote Hospital. Mom had to come to Australia. Then Mom come and help me.
Just from postnatal depression?
Yeah. They put me in Heathcote Hospital.
So she went into Heathcote Hospital.
Yeah.
Do you want to just sit up a little bit?
Yeah, Heathcote Hospital.
And then speak up a little bit.
Yeah,
talk to them.
yeah. I went down to Heathcote Hospital.
Which is closed now.
Yeah, they give me injection lithium. They give me injection lithium. I was a size 10, went down to size 18. Since then I haven't been myself. They drug me up for all those years. So I fight for my rights, my dignity, my pride. I intend to sue on my street for what they done. Recently, a couple months ago, when I was in the hospital a year ago, they put me on so many tablets. I lost consciousness. My tooth is a bit loose. I lost my lip got stitched by the surgeon. And then I had cellulitis and ulcer with the wrong medication.
So originally they had you on lithium.
Yeah.
With an injection or
with injection at that time when I was 21.
And that's since 1979.
Yeah. After that they put me on Zoloft, thyroidazine, carbendazepine, Prozac when I was depressed, and then Langatil, so many drugs. And then now recently they put me on Tegridol, 400 in the evening, 200 in the morning, with Quantapine 300, they drop it to 115, and Flucopentixol animals put me on injection 40 milligram. What am I, dog or an animal?
Do you feel like they treated you like property?
Yeah, like they owe me.
Like
I
you're
told
not human?
And I told them I'm not going to come after my holiday. I use my right, I'm off the CTO, and then I told them I intend to sue them. It's going to be mega bucks money.
Leda's going to take legal action?
Yeah, I got my solicitor. I got all the evidence what they done to me.
Good.
And they judge me the way I dress, the way I talk. Of course I talk fluently French and English and Creole. I talk fast. All Mauritian people talk fast. If you Australian people, you can't get acquainted with people who talk fast. That's another issue. Italian talk fast. Portuguese talk fast. Why don't you tell them if they are going high or not? We all have highs and lows in our life. Otherwise we'll be all a moron.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody is entitled to their experiences and their feelings, and all humans are entitled to.
And they manipulated my children. My children said to me, I had a princess thing, why do you wear this? Why do you wear that? I said, listen to me, don't talk to me. I'm entitled to wear. Today I might dress up like that. Tomorrow I might not wear makeup. Tomorrow I might wear Indian clothes. Today I might wear something else. Yeah. There is no law when you come to Australia tell you how to dress up. There was a code. I never heard of that before.
And that is not even, it's nothing to do with medical. That's not medical, is it? It's,
and then when I speak, they always they judge me. You are speaking too fast. How is your rate? How is your faults? How is your thing? What do you mean, how is my fault? I get grade 12, I did IOC level, I did scientific subject, I scored 12 subjects, English, French, mathematics, geographic, and then algebra, and then needlework, and then I speak French fluently since I was kindy to high school to college, and telling me I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you
and that's not a
my
reason.
life.
So you think they've ruined your life?
Oh, of course, they drift me in a hole. A month and a half ago, I suffered from deep depression, they didn't give me tablets. I said, you might go high. Go high, I had to struggle up. My brother from England is a PhD. He mentored me. Now they're trying to monitor me, how am I going before I go on holidays. I got nothing to do with you.
That's right, yeah. You're a free woman.
Yeah, I'm a divorcee, but now I should have reconstruct my life. I haven't reconstructed my life. 5 years I divorced my ex. And a year ago my ex took off to Mauritius because he never gave love and attention to my children. He bought a house, he still talks to me. But I'm going to see him, but there's not going to be sex with me. That's over.
Okay,
that's over.
Did you feel they forced you to take those drugs?
Yeah, they forced me. I will reckon they make it. I don't know why they done so bad thing on me. Why did I do so wrong?
They do it to everybody.
Because
everybody.
I gave people present, gift, gold, everything. Why are they so mean to me? What did I do so wrong to this country to deserve a kind of life like that? There was time I wanted to leave Australia, but I didn't want to leave Australia. People had to hide my story before I do something like that.
Did they forcibly lock you up?
Oh yes, one day, a couple of years ago, I was supposed to go to Mauritius. I saw a girlfriend. I said, hello, they blocked me up. They put me in the lock wall, inject me left and right, more than an animal. Left and right, they take my pants off, inject me left and right.
And what did they inject you with?
That at that time was Zucopentixol. This is a weapon chemical drug, which is for druggies.
They're all chemicals, and they force those drugs on you.
Yeah.
You were actually, you had actually the police come to your house and
yeah, there was time, but the police break down. I was in the toilet. I was living in Sparewood. The police keep arresting me up. That's why I moved to Hamilton Hill. They didn't stop this. They come twice to my place. One day, the last time, and my sweet come around, Mrs. Mrs. Patten, you better come with us. We want to get you to Mauritius. I went down to my GP to say my ulcer reinfected. I said, listen to me, get out of here. I said, I was angry. And then they put me in the hospital. I never went to Mauritius. My mother was devastated. She was sick. My mom has got a heart disease. From today, from the 26th, I turned my back. Anything can happen after the 13th March.
Well, they use the police to help them with their criminal work, and they lock people up against their will and they drug them. But there's a law in Western Australia that allows them. The politicians are, now I class the politicians as murderers and torturers because
like Hitler or something.
Are they allowing it to happen with this law that they've got? Do you feel like you've been tortured?
Oh yeah, I've been tortured like more than Hitler. I've been a bait, like a guinea pig.
Do you feel like they were trying to kill you?
Oh, they were trying to kill me. It's not my imagination. I'm not crazy.
No, I know the evidence given by testimonies throughout the world of victims is the same evidence that there are people in there's an organisation called Mind.
They say you get to try your mood, you got bipolar. I don't believe I got bipolar. My father is a quick and snappy, mom is snappy. If I don't take after my mother, not my father, I'm going to take after your mother and father. Sorry to say so.
Well, you're a human being, you're entitled to your feelings and experiences.
Okay, in my marriage experience,
every human
my ex used to be bullying my sex life and everything. When it comes to children, he never had any time with them. And then when I was in bed, I had to be hunky-dory with him. When I refused sometimes with him, he'd just pick up the phone and call the community nurse. Hello, Mrs. Angapen, you better come with us, and then drug me up.
So that's abusive by your ex-partner.
Oh yes, the devil went to Mauritius. Thank God for that.
And I know that there are survivors, people that have survived like yourself, who call themselves psychiatric survivors. That there's a lot of people that die.
Oh, I died one day at Scott. I lost consciousness, I lost breathing. There was an American doctor resuscitated my heart.
So you got resuscitated?
Yeah, I remember. That was in the 1980.
In 1980s.
And then when I told to my ex, did you know what happened to me? He didn't know. I said, when I was dead, he wouldn't know, would you?
Where did that happen?
In Scott Hospital.
Yeah, they closed that now. But
oh, yes.
would you be surprised to know that, or based on the research evidence I've seen, and based on the Helen Morton's, the current minister, told the Parliament that between 2006 2007, 660 people had died.
I believe it.
Under the mental health
I
system.
would have been the next victim, but God protected me. Our parents are very spiritual people, our ancestry. And mind you, how royalty in me, my great-grandfather was a king in India, he was a Maharaja. I told him that, which is true, and that's not bullshitting, I'm telling you.
So,
Grandmother tell us the story.
So that would put the people that have been murdered or died under that practice at between 20 and 25,000 in the last 50 years.
Oh God.
Just in Western Australia.
Oh Lord. Because I've seen people, last year, a guy, he had drink, and then he collapsed, he died. They give us thing.
So you saw someone
Dr.
die?
Dr. Barat Hill, he tried to kill me. When I was separated with my ex, I said, could you provide a little something else? By right, my ex shouldn't have talked to my psychiatrist. I was separated officially. Then they start the injection. Was supposed to finish the injection over 3 years ago. They say drag on.
So you saw somebody drugged and died?
Oh yeah, he died.
Whereabouts is
in 5.1 ward. That was 2 years
Fremantle
ago. Fremantle, Alma Street.
And you saw a man murdered there?
Yeah, he was dead by overdose tablet.
By the drugging.
Yeah.
I've reported a murder to the Commissioner of Police and they haven't acted on it. That was a system.
I say the cop,
teacher,
the nurse, the politician, and the doctor, they're all into this. And we are the people of nation, we suffer, we are the villain.
That's right.
They are the highly educated, they are the thing, we are the villain.
I agree.
We are the specimen.
Well, I'm highly educated. But
I'm highly educated. I intend to use my right and my dignity
but
and
the
my pride.
politicians are letting them do it.
Oh yes, they get away.
Police,
The cop? Oh God, I hate them.
It's murder. It's
murder. The cop get brother in my house, Hamilton Hill. There was 2 houses down. There was a guy, Lebanese, was doing drugs. They let them go away, and then finally he get out, and then they're still doing drugs. What kind of police is that? They get money behind the curtain, behind the wrap, and then the wrap.
Involved in drug
the thing with the gun,
and prostitution.
The thing with the gun and the suit, I'm scared of them. Oh, I had my uncle, which was an MP years ago. He passed away. We come from high society family, man. You're messing up with the wrong tribe.
Can I make a comment here about the ECT treatment? They're still doing shock treatment in the hospital at the moment.
Lots of them.
And that is being done quite commonly.
Yeah.
And I have friends who would probably like to also speak to you on YouTube about what their experience has been with shock treatment.
That shouldn't be done.
It's
Have you had it done to you?
No, not so far that I know of. I'm getting out of it when I come here. I'm suing the government one by one for sure. Put everything in peace.
You should
ECT
they should
big,
all sue
big
all the survivors.
Question mark as well.
It's torture. Psychosurgery and ECT is torture. And they're engaged in human rights abuses. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Psychiatrists?
I did when I was in the hospital, I actually rang Amnesty International and they helped me get out of hospital.
Well, they locked you up as well,
I
didn't
was
they?
locked up, yeah.
And a judge ordered you to pay $1,500 in costs while you were locked up.
Yeah.
And he didn't even
But he doesn't
but
know
you
the
were
difference.
homeless.
I was homeless.
You were homeless and you didn't, and the judge,
Oh,
I
you've
know
been
the
to
judge,
trauma to have
but
you Sue? Poor Sue.
she wasn't even in the hearing and she was homeless and she was locked up and the judge
Oh God, that's not funny.
fined her $1,500
Oh God, did you pay for it?
I'm paying it. I have to
Oh,
pay
I
it. Otherwise,
know.
well, if I don't
But
pay
in
it,
jail?
I end up in the clink, yeah.
Oh.
Well,
no.
if
Very
they're
bad.
locking people up forcibly against their will and giving them
And
dangerous
they should
treatments.
provide us what law say. If you have been an ex-patient so many years, you drag that people laugh until they say like you are do till the says of apart, darling. I never signed any contract.
Well, the politicians created a law, the Mental Health Act of 1996.
Oh,
And
that's
it's-
something new.
They've been doing it since 1996, and there's a new bill which the psychiatrists are trying to bring in, the draft mental health bill of 2011, and it's worse because they propose to sterilise children in the bill and give dangerous treatments like ECT and psychosurgery to children as young as 12.
Oh Lord.
To young as 12, and to take children off their parents, to lock them up for 14 days without parents' permission. For 14 days.
Oh, they used to ban me up. I have always been involuntary.
Trying to target children.
They keep me for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I'm not allowed to go out because I can't get used with the food. I don't say the food is not right. I like my food is spicy. I cook all different type of food, and then they won't allow me to go out.
And you had the government public trust.
Oh yes, 3 years I've been going on.
3 years.
They cheat on my money, and then the funding went $3,000. So I put 1,000 and 2,000 my brother put to me to go to Mauritius on the 26th, and I won't be back on the 13th March. You better watch out, people. What's going to happen to you?
Do you think it's evil what they're doing? I think.
Oh, more than evil. God will prevail all the evil. We will have a better world. The world should change. The politicians should change. The coppers should change their attitude. And the doctors and the nurses should go better practice. How about if their family was in a shoe like us, how would they feel?
Well, what if we put all the psychiatrists in one room and lock them up and drug them
and put it in the side,
controlled all their money?
And the politician, put that on your wife, give that tablet and see how your wife goes for a couple of weeks.
Or even lock the politicians up and against their will, forcibly lock them up, forcibly drug them, take control of their money, destroy all their rights. And how would they feel? You know, it's human rights abuses. It's just shocking. It's the worst practice I've ever researched in my life. And with the documentary evidence that I've seen and the witness testimonies and the evidence throughout the world, when you do the research, it's always the same experience, the same types of abuses, and they've murdered children with their treatments as well.
I believe you. I would have been one of the next victim, but I'm a survivor.
You're a survivor, and there are thousands of people that have survived, and there are thousands of people who have died.
Died too. I believe you.
So, so they've been locking you up for about how many years?
30 years of my life.
30 years. So you know, it's just criminal, really. That and I hope you get compensation. I'm trying to stop their practices. Do you think that's a good thing?
They should. They should learn to know their mistake. Before they practice doesn't make perfect. Practice can be the wrong way of attitude. Everybody got a temperament. Everybody got a character. You don't judge people the way they dress, the way they talk. You don't judge a book by its cover until you read it. A book might be glossy, inside is gloomy. A book might be gloomy, inside is very interesting. So watch out when my book come up, mate.
Because you're going to write a book, aren't you?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. But everything you've just described proves that it's not medical what they're doing.
No,
it's just,
nothing is wrong with me. They interfere with my privacy, that's it.
And they've destroyed your leg.
Yeah, look at that.
I'll take some photos of that as well.
Look at that.
Put it in the video. So
that's one is a little bit there. That's one is.
Just want to tell the public what happened to your leg.
Yeah, it went to cellulitis and then to ulcer, and then I had an attack here. I would have lost my life. Here is a bubble here. I had to take thinning blood, and then I got blood pressure, I got cholesterol, I got everything.
Yeah. And that's caused by the
medication, wrong practice medication.
Well, the treatments that psychiatrists
done.
Yeah, the treatments that they gave you, the drugs that they gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty horrific, isn't it? So, did you want to? That's really good what you've said there, and it's really important that. Did you want to say anything else, or hang on a minute? I'll just get this. Trying to get this thing sorted out.
From today, I had to wear medical leg to traveling. My life is in danger. Or sometimes it can get swollen. When I travel, I got to travel in a wheelchair because I can't climb stairs.
Okay.
That's medical one. From the vascular thing gave to me.
And you're Australian citizen?
Oh yes, long time ago, 1986 I think I had my citizenship.
Good on you. I'm sorry that you've been treated this way.
Oh yeah, nobody will know how I feel.
They're doing the same thing to my brother.
Oh, you should fight for him.
I'm trying to get them to stop, but my brother will be dead in 5 years' time if they don't stop. Because the court destroyed my brother's rights.
Get mental law.
The court destroyed my family's rights as well.
You got to get mental law, get a solicitor, put everything into aspect, then he will find it.
Yeah, I went to the district court and the Supreme Court, but the judges in the Supreme Court, they lied in the judgment transcripts, and the judges are covering it up as well. The politicians, the judges.
I told you there's politicians, judges, doctor, and psychiatrists.
And the police.
The police, those five, they are hunky-dory life. They are criminal, they are Hitler.
When it comes to this practice, they are engaging in crimes against society. I think
you should see them on the street with their guns. They think they own the country. They possess you. They go like a macho man with their guns. That's why sometimes some kids of a blast their copper. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, law is thing in Western Australia. Laws will change. You are a criminal. You are a rapist. You do fraud, you should jail for life and stay there. No parole, no shit. It will be a better world.
Well, I think when the politicians have a law that permits death and torture and slavery, which the Mental Health Act does, and they permit doctors to force people, like forcibly lock them up and forcibly give chemical compounds.
Oh, they did compound me on so many chemicals. And I did that the last time I had so many angina attacks. I went down 3 times to the emergency. They treat me like shit. Do you have angina? Did you have chest pain? I don't have chest pain. I had problem of breathing. I realized I was having chest angina attack. 3 times from my funding, I went down 3 times to the emergency. They did no shit. And I went down to my GP, give me a spray to inhale, to spray, to say I'm allergic with hay fever. Over 33 years I've been Australian now, suddenly I'm here with hay fever. I was having angina attack. I did silence. I'm not stupid. I had an attack a while ago. I had to put spray with, ask my friend and I'm feeling a bit well. I had to have angina spray.
Yeah, well I believe they're, from the research I've seen and the testimonies people have given me, I believe they're engaging in crimes against humanity.
Yes.
Like,
so
when you've seen evidence they've killed people with their treatments and children as well, it's just really criminal and it's really violent what they do.
All this business of ADA, what is it, ADAH and whatever.
ADHD, well there's no medical basis to that.
There is no, that's giving medications to children who all they need is love and care at home, and that's what they need. They don't need medications.
Well, it's not medication, is it? It's chemical compound. But they drug about 20 million children around the world now. About 20 million.
Is it 20 million?
Yeah, it's about 20 million children they drug by the researchers are saying that, and the evidence is just overwhelming that they're engaged in, they're just murdering people with their treatments and torture, and you know, you've survived. So what would you say to the people that survived? You say for them to
speak out, ask for compensation, stick your gun, put your foot down the ground, not in your mouth, use your right, your ability, whether you're Australian, whether you're Italian or whatever, use your right, mate.
And they should get compensation.
We should get compensation. I intend to get my compensation when I come.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you know, in the United States, there are a lot more professional people fighting for people who suffered in this way. And I'm a teacher, so I have some understanding about the research about what's available. But there's a lot more lawyers and doctors and even psychiatrists in the United States who are speaking out against their profession, and a lot more professors in university and people that work.
I come across with
Australian people need to speak out more about this, I think, about what's happening here.
Yeah. I come across with all the doctors and nurses discriminate me, the way I dress, the way I talk. Suddenly, how is your mood? How is your thought? Before they used to tell you, count 100 to 1. What's that nonsense is?
Yeah, they don't not treating you like with the respect and dignity that you deserve as a human being. Do you think that they have
no, they mistreat
respecting
me.
You?
They didn't respect me. They destroy my life. I intend to win back my life and enjoy what's left out of me. On the 30th January, I'll be 54. I intend to use my right, my ability, my dignity and my pride and my Australian citizenship to use my right. and to ask for compensation.
Good. And this is going to go out to the whole world now, so everybody's going to see your story or your experience.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And I intend to publish my book. It's going to call My Destiny from Mauritius to the down under. Mind you, my country used to do drug in 1978. Let me publish the book. You find out. Wait until that time comes.
Yes, I think everybody should speak out about what's happening, because it's not. There's even people that are speaking out, like in the WA Mental Health Association. A lady on the executive said to me straight to my face, she said, Teresa, you know, there's people working in this industry that know psychiatrists are murdering people with their treatments.
Yeah, I intend to sue Dr.
And I said,
Barat.
well, they all need to speak out about it. Someone from the WA Mental Health Association.
Very good.
And how would you feel, Prime Minister of Health, if your wife was treated the way, if she comes from depression, get the wrong medication or try our medication and put her on it and tell me how she reacts? I don't know who is the Prime Ministry of Health.
Well,
Helen Morton, isn't it?
Helen Morton, how would you
She's
feel if
saying
one of your
first of
relatives
all,
was treated like that?
well, I've got 4 letters from her, and she won't stop them murdering my brother and stolen all his assets and everything. You see, because the State Administrative Tribunal is involved, that Human Rights Division of the State Administrative Tribunal,
I just come up 3
is
weeks
corrupt
ago
as anything.
Of the tribunal.
The tribunal's corrupt, the Mental Health Review Board is corrupt. They're just locking up whoever they want to lock up and drugging them against their will and supporting the psychiatrists rather than questioning what they're doing. They're
criminal. The doctors are criminal, the politicians, the nurses, and who else?
Well, the police.
The police. Oh, the police.
Helping
They think
in this regard.
they are the most corrupted. They think with a gun, they possess you, they own you. Mancho man, mancho man.
Well, what about the Mental Health Review Board? Have you been from
Oh
them?
yes, they disintegrate me completely. They even accused me. There was one girl called Prabha. She left Mauritius when she was 10. She forgot what language she speaks. She thinks she's English. She went down to England. She reckoned against people when they come to my place. I said, when does that happen? They put rubbish.
Yeah.
Next minute you can say,
Yeah. Well, if that was the case, there should be some alleged charge about that. But
No, I've
the
been,
point is
I've been a
they-
witness to what's happened to Nelida, with the police coming to her house and frightening the hell out of her and making her making her state of mind very bad by having the whole fear of having her front door taken off. She had her front door literally stripped off. She had her house broken into.
One do the karateka, bang the door like that, and then pull me up. And in the evening I was having a hair color. I had hypothermia.
Well, there was a lady that walked out of Graylands, and I met her in
Yes,
Fremantle.
things was telling me she came
And
here.
she stayed with me for 10 days, and the police threatened me if she was found on my property, then I could be arrested for helping someone who was homeless.
Yeah.
So that's how cruel our society has become. I feel that the authorities are being
And how
violent against.
Gillian Gillard feel about it? She was a drunkard before she was a prime minister, dancing around and be a prime minister. She's not fit to be a prime minister.
She is. I like her.
No, she's alright, but she was a drunkard too.
Well, she's an atheist. I don't really like her.
Anyway,
but she's also
we have to
not
have
born in Australia.
we have to actually bring the atheists into it. We have to have every group of people. We've got to find the good people who want a good Australia, and whether they're atheists or Christians
Look at the
or not,
world. The world has become an end.
I'm sorry, that's my opinion.
I reckon the world has become an end. If we people don't clean our act, we are going to suffer. The next generation is going to be hell, your third generation.
Well,
We're not going to be here to see that third generation. Last time my granddaughter said, Grandma, I don't want you to die. I said, Grandma had to die someday, somehow. So I don't want you to die.
Well, I'm nearly at the point of calling our current politicians, and those of the past 2 decades, they are murderers in a sense, because they say Australia has an ageing population, but it doesn't have an ageing population in the sense that the amount of death, there's a very high rate of unnatural death in Australia, whether it's through suicide, people being murdered in psychiatric facilities or people being murdered in jails as well.
Or rape.
And there's a lot more violence against women as well, and rape and violence against children too. And also the homelessness, like how many people are that homeless people are going to die. So there's a lot of unnatural death in Australia, and I think that has been the fault of our politicians who have just greedy and selfish and really don't care about the people, really. And for them to have laws where they can forcibly lock people up and drug people against their will, forcibly drug people and give them other dangerous treatments, and they die, there needs to be a royal commission, a very big royal commission into death in Australia.
Right.
And even in aged care facilities now, the GPs are giving psychiatric drugs to elderly people, and they're dying suddenly, prematurely, and there was even on Lateline.
I used to work for the village home. Mind you, every week I see people dying because their loved one won't take care of them, give all their money. Every week they drug. Every week everybody died. And now they build that nursing home as a home retire, which is better. Only survivor I know was, I forgot his name, his mother died, Mrs. Higg.
So to drug the human population with chemical compounds is wrong because it's causing a lot of death. And the type of teaching in the universities as well is becoming problematic in that they're just indoctrinating people in this, viewing humans as diseased and having illness, but not treating them with respect and dignity. So there's a huge big morality that's being eroded from the teaching in the universities about how to treat people, and they're not treating people like as human beings. They're with respect and dignity, and really investing in improving the health of humans. Like my background is in phys ed teaching and health teaching, and as a phys ed health teacher, you always encourage people to exercise and eat well and have good relationships and good social networks and supportive family networks and compassionate counselling and all that sort of thing. But they're destroying the teachers' rights and authority and status. So they put more money into so-called medical practice, but it's causing death. And it causes malpractice as well. If you put more money into health or medical practice than education, it causes malpractice and death. So there's a lot of so-called medical treatments which are actually causing death. A lot of the drugs that are given, and when you hear in Lateline the presenter asking the Federal Minister for Mental Health, I think his name's Butler. Are you going to call a royal commission because they give GPs giving psychiatric drugs to elderly people?
I believe you. Years ago,
and they suddenly die.
5 years ago, I was working in a nursing home as a nursing assistant. I saw it. I had to prepare the dying one, the soft serve, and the normal people, normal food. Set the table, clean the floor, all this kind of thing, and then wheel them up. The only thing I didn't do, I didn't lift them up.
Yeah.
And I once worked at a university cleaning job, and in Mauritius I did ROC level, and then I worked for my father's business. When I come to Australia, my ex didn't want me to work, and then I did work this kind of job I done, and then I intend to publish my book, and then that's my motive, to heal myself, to mend myself, and compensation with the government mental health for the wrongdoing, malpractice on me. If I was a bait, if I was crazy, my parents would have dispatched me a long time ago.
Well, there's no such thing as crazy because every human's entitled to their experiences and feelings and emotions, and there's no group or group of people has got a monopoly on
what's, I had is a failure marriage,
on what's considered normal or not normal.
People has involved. I had stress level on my marriage that didn't go right with me. It took me 33 years to end that marriage. When my son was 4 years old, I left him. I wasn't strong enough, so I kept going back and forth with him.
Well, everybody's got problems. Everyone suffers in life. Everybody has experiences pain and hardship. It doesn't mean we have to be drugged to death and locked up against our will. And if anybody is not normal in this life is really people like psychiatrists, because it's not normal to forcibly lock people up against their will and forcibly drug them and give them
like I
dangerous
said,
treatments. It's just
2
not
years
normal.
ago I was supposed to go to Mauritius. I visited a friend.
That sort of thing.
One of the nurse blocked me up. He said, hold her, she's going high. Lock me up, inject me left and right. And then one day last time put me up again. I couldn't go home. I told my brother everything. Now I had to go with the flow because they're observing me. On the 26th I leave. When I get back, watch out back what's going to happen, people.
Well, I hope you get justice.
Oh, I will. I got my pension back. The next step is justice be done over my dead mom body, which is coming up the next 2 years' time. I drop my mother, be dead. Because my grandmother happiness, she had everything with dad, that other thing, my happiness, she couldn't find my happiness. Her wish was one day for me to remarry. I will reconstruct my life. Not today, not tomorrow. I will remarry. But I presume mom will be dead by that time, but everything will be accomplished. Before mom died, she gave that to me. She's not dead yet. That's the love our mom and dad shared together for 56 years of marriage. That's a very protection.
Yeah.
So mom gave that to me for my 53rd birthday.
Are you a Christian lady? Or?
No, I'm not a Christian, but I believe in Christianity because I have family who, but years ago, my aunt, my mom cousin, the husband passed away, the nun was helping them. Some other children converted into Catholic, so we have Catholic in us too as well. So I'm a Tamil, but I have uncle who were married in Catholic, didn't work out the marriage, so he's still solo.
Yeah. Well, I've studied what psychiatrists do.
I believe in God.
200 years.
There is no way people can take away my belief.
All over the world.
I believe in God.
Genocide.
God do wonders. I believe in God. God do wonders. You got to put faith and will in your life, and dignity and pride and achievement, what you go to want to achieve, and compassion, and listen to people. Don't misjudge people, the way they dress, the way they look, the way they speak. Like I said, appearance might be deceiving.
Well, it proves then that's not medical and what they're doing. It's political, sociological. So anyway, my professional view, based on the evidence I've seen their practices over the past 200 years from the research evidence throughout the world, they are engaged in genocide and they've created a Holocaust over the past 200 years.
I told you Hitler.
Yeah, and actually the people that put in practice the Nazis,
yeah, they skinhead around.
Their genocidal policies, the people primarily who carried out those genocidal policies in the camps were psychiatrists. And there's documentaries that prove that as well, that look at that historical footage and the people involved as well. And they carried out the sterilisation programs in the camps against all sorts of people, Jews, Christians, black people, gay people, disabled people, people that they didn't like politically and sociologically. And those genocidal policies were primarily carried out by psychiatrists with the lethal injections and the systematic gassing and cremation, and also
I got 2 more needles.
They carried out those policies.
2 more needles before I go on my holiday. And they're going to provide me a needle to take to my country. I'm not going to do it. No way.
Don't do
it. Get fucked. Sorry, my language. You can get fucked. If I was nutcase, I would say, okay, I take it. Just experiment. I learn my lesson.
I think that
there's an old saying: you get burned one, you get burned second time, third time you learn your lesson. That's what I'm learning my lesson.
Well, I think they're going to go to hell if they don't stop.
Oh, they are going to go to hell with me. Fortunately, they are going to go to hell. I seen God from heaven to everywhere. My goddess, I seen Jesus Christ from heaven. I'm being protected by God. I see third world is the end of the world. But the world is going to be a better world where we've got to diminish the baddies and get the good one take over the country, not the baddies making bad tomato around and kill people around.
I think one of the problems is that they've been doing it for so long that it's becoming, they're feeding off it in a sense, and they are getting away with murder and the torture of people, and therefore it's too many people in the society are supporting it, they're not questioning it, and it's really criminal what they're doing, but it's something that's very big to stop because it's they've been doing it for so long and they're getting away with it. So, you know, and the politicians now, I blame the politicians because they're allowing it to go on. They're allowing
the law is too soft in Australia. The law is stink. They tolerate rapists, criminal, associate with crime, everything, bribery. The world could be a better world in Australia if they do better law.
Oh, this newspaper article about not guilty, that this man hit this man.
Oh, I haven't got my reading glass.
He hit, Dylan Winter hit Luke Adams, and Luke Adams fell to the ground and hit his head, and he was in intensive care. But he got away with it.
Animals.
And not guilty, and they're both wrong, in my view. They're both engaged in violence, and it was fueled by alcohol. So, the violent actions in society, they're just getting away with it. Like,
the law is too soft in Australia. Well, they should change. It's too soft.
Somebody murdered that lawyer.
It's just not soft. It's the fact that it's indiscriminate. It's not a good law. It doesn't discriminate correctly. That's what's wrong with the law. It does not discriminate correctly about who it's going to put behind bars. It's based on a corrupt police force. And you know why the police force is corrupt?
Well, say that again. Why do you think the police are corrupt?
The police are corrupt because they have been offered more money to get more convictions, regardless.
Look at this one, fine, not Brady.
Yeah, they get paid more money, but there's also reports that the police are involved in drug trafficking and prostitution, brothels and stuff. So there's lots of corruption, lots of violence.
We can't comment about that.
Well, did he murder his wife?
We don't know. We don't know.
That's true.
We do not know. All we know is what's been coming through the newspapers and the TV. Yeah. We do not know what the truth is.
That's true. We don't know what the truth is.
We say that Azalea, that's predicted. We never know the truth.
But we do know.
You know Azalea Chamberlain, that she eventually had that fixed. They found out that what was supposed to be in blood was red paint, and they had a forensic expert from England or somewhere who actually found out the information about her. So she was found through the coroner. The coroner finally found that she was not guilty of killing that baby.
But we do know that there is a woman who's dead, Corinne Rainey, and we also know that she worked at the Supreme Court as a registrar. She was a lawyer, you see. Now there's a fundamental flaw in this case, that the fact that Corinne Rainey worked at the Supreme Court means that the Supreme Court, well, first of all, everybody that worked at the Supreme Court at that time is a suspect in her murder. Now, is that part of the case or not?
Yeah.
Also, that the Supreme Court should never have conducted this trial because she worked there at the Supreme Court. That's a conflict of interest. And done by a single judge of the Supreme Court is also wrong. That the prosecutors should have gone to the federal court or even the High Court with this case, because the fact that Corinne Rainey, get her name right, the fact that Corinne Rainey worked at the Supreme Court as a registrar, the Supreme Court should not have done this trial. It's a conflict of interest. The prosecutors should have done it through the federal court.
But we still don't know what the truth is, do we?
We don't know who murdered her, and there's been an increase in violence against women as well, and that it seems to be people are getting away with murder in Australia. And, you know, if there's violence between two men, or two women, or it doesn't matter about the gender, and they can get away with it, they're both at fault. They're both at fault for engaging in violence in public. And fueled by alcohol, they should probably increase the drinking age to 21, potentially. The fact is, somebody killed this woman, Corinne Rainey, and the thing is, God is real, God of the Bible. He knows who did it. The people are not going to get away with it. If you engage in violence or murder in society, you're not going to get away with it, because there is an ultimate judgment coming into the world against people. And also, his reaction, Rainey's reaction, is strange, because what he did was he celebrated in the streets of Perth with his supporters after 5 years, because he got acquitted. Now, it's a strange reaction, I think, in a sense that if somebody murdered your wife or your partner, well, you'd want to find out who did it, right? And why wasn't he should have been put on the stand? You know, our judicial system does not really lead to justice. And these judges are getting paid too much money. They've just got another increase now that the Supreme Court judges are getting paid $470,000 a year. And district court judges are getting paid about $370,000 a year. $475,000 a year for Chief Justice salary, and district court judges will get $370,000 a year. To acquit people for violence, you know, and to people getting away with murder. And I just don't think it's working, and I think it would be better to have like a panel of lawyers.
Mediation before.
And even having a panel of lawyers running trials and cases, rather than, I'll just finish this bit off, rather than one person covering, you know, murder trials getting paid $475,000 and there's still a murderer out there, and have a panel of lawyers who are conducting the case. They're all getting paid less and there's a more chance of getting justice. But his reaction's strange, I think, because he didn't, you know, like, hey, wouldn't you be, if you were innocent and somebody murdered your partner, wouldn't you say, well, I'm not going to stop until I find out who murdered my wife or my husband or my partner? So you would logically be concerned and wanting to know who murdered your partner, right? If you're innocent, really. And that's the way it seems to me.